We don't just have the NFL playoffs around the corner. We have the college football playoffs as well. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button, or hit that like button, if you are excited about the NFL and the college football playoffs. You can subscribe if you want because we're going to be live for those events. But like the video if you are excited. Let's talk Kyle Shanahan trades. Since this keeps popping up in the NFL mediaverse. Troy Aikman, ESPN Monday Night Football color commentator, the latest to get on board with this idea of Shanahan to the Bears, kind of saying, I'd be all for it. I'd trade picks to go get him. Now, the idea here was really started by Mike Florio. This was his brainchild, whatever. Like, he kind of created it. And this was several weeks ago, pushing for this idea. And I completely get it from the Bears angle. You need stability. You need a head coach that's going to maximize Caleb Williams. You cannot get this one wrong. You've done this same mistake 3 times of going, defensive-minded coach / head coach for a year, change the OC. That doesn't work. Then you fire the guy with a new QB. The change is bad. Shanahan has had success constantly in San Francisco. 70-59, 2 Super Bowls, 4 NFC title game appearances. Might have been 3 Super Bowls if all the QBs didn't get hurt in one game. But hasn't gone well this year. Injuries are a huge factor. There's been Niners fans are mad at him, which I get because of the Super Bowl mistrust, but this is a clear-cut top 10 quarterback. My issue here is I get it for the Bears. I do. Why would the 49ers do this? Why would the 49ers, who have a really good top 10 NFL head coach, that's why the Bears want him, move on from Kyle Shanahan? Who's the replacement for Shanahan? You're going to go with the mystery box is fine when it's Matt Eberflus. It is not fine when it's Kyle Shanahan. And frankly, Shanahan has a tremendous amount of power in that Niners organization. There's not a whole lot more he can get elsewhere. So is he going to trade himself for a haul? Because the only way the Niners that is the Niners might say, F you, Kyle, we're not going to trade you. You want to go retire? Go retire. We'll call your bluff. He's not going to retire, I don't think that. He's looked tired at times, but look at any NFL head coach. They all look tired, especially mid-season. They don't sleep very much. So you're trading Kyle Shanahan to the Bears for the John Gruden trade over. This kind of like comes down to my daughter this morning. I'm driving her to her grandma's to watch the day. And she goes, I want candy. I go, why do you want candy? I'm not giving you candy, but I want it. That's what this comes down to. Why do you want Shanahan? Because I want him. Give me Kyle Shanahan, the Bears say. Well, no. It takes 2 sides to make a trade here. I don't think it makes any sense for San Francisco. Not even for the John Gruden trade package. It'd be 2 firsts, 2 seconds, $8 million, which back then was a lot more money than it is right now, by the way. Like I don't understand why this makes sense for the Niners perspective. Sure, the Bears would love to do it. Why would San Francisco do it? I feel like we just get lost sometimes from the other side perspective. So what is the % chance you think that Kyle Shanahan goes to the Bears? Let's pin comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Let's talk Kirk Cousins, which is kind of tied to Shanahan anyway. Falcons head coach Raheem Morris didn't exactly rule out benching Kirk for Michael Penix after a ugly win against the Raiders in which the, Falcons didn't move the ball consistently on offense at all. It was kind of a bad game from the offense. Kirk threw for 112 yards. They've stopped running the ball in early down situations, or pass the ball in early down situations. They've been kind of scared of Kirk Cousins. Here's what Raheem Morris said. He's got to play better. And, you got to go back to, you've got to be able to look at everything. He wants to play better. He's got to play better. We've got to find a way to get him to play better. And we'll get to work tomorrow, and that's part of our process, right? You go look at the tape. You review with people that need to be reviewed with. We get all the coordinators in the room. We'll talk with everybody. And we've got to get better play at the quarterback position. That last part jumped out to a lot of people, including me. That was not a comment on, we got to get better play from Kirk. That was, we got to get better play about the quarterback spot, period. The question leading up to that was along the lines of, are you going to eval the quarterback position? The follow-up question was specifically on, hey, do you feel comfortable making the move and playing Michael Penix as your first-round pick? Raheem Morris responded with, we've got everybody on our roster for a reason, right? We've got so much to get better at, and all those things will be discussed. That's just the nature of the beast in football. It's so heavily talked about at the quarterback spot because there's only one guy you get out there. So for us, our mentality is to find a way to win the next game, and that's just the mentality we're going to have. Again, that's not closing the door. That is leaving the door very much open for, we'll do what, that's almost like, it basically said, we'll do what's best to win games. That's not saying Kirk Cousins is our best chance to win games. That was very much keeping that door wide open. We'll spend some more time on this here in just a second, but today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better, and it's the perfect gift. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Not just football. That could be concerts, comedy, theater, which maybe this holiday season is what your wife or girlfriend wants more than, I bought tickets to a Week 17 game and our team sucks. Maybe that's not the one you go with there. Maybe you take one for the team, so to speak, and go to a theater show or something. Either way, download the Game Time app, create your account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Again, that's gametime.co, promo code CHATSPORTS. As we sit right now, the Atlanta Falcons are very much in the middle of the NFL playoff picture. But the way their season has gone, they're not in as good of a place as I think they would like to be. They've kind of struggled a little bit here. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They snapped that 4-game losing streak. Their current playoff probability, based on the next-gen stats metric, is 36%. They've fallen behind the Bucs in the division race. Bucs schedule's pretty easy. They're a game back already. And the Commanders' schedule, they've got more wins than you do, but the Commanders and Falcons play in Week 17. Commanders play the Eagles this week. Commanders could lose this week, then have a Week 17 matchup in prime time between Washington and Atlanta in a winner really seizes control of that last wild card spot. Losers in a bad place. That's Giants and Panthers later should win almost regardless of the QB. Week 17, not so much. If you're going to make the move at quarterback, you'd probably do it in Week 16 to put yourself in the best shape possible for Week 17. Overall this year, Kirk Cousins has not been the same guy. He has normally been if he's not a top 10 quarterback, he's always been a pretty safe top 15 quarterback. Like, his 16 interceptions in 14 games is already a career high. Already. His interception rate is significantly higher than anything outside of really anything since he became a full-time starter in the NFL. And not only that, it's the last 5 games that have been a massive concern. The completion percentage dipped a little bit, the average has dipped a little bit, but he can't move in the pocket the way he used to. 1 touchdown against 9 interceptions in 5 games. That's horrible. That's worse than Will Levis was playing. To put it in perspective, an EPA play, first 9 games this season, he was the number 12 quarterback, which is about what he normally is. Fringe top 10. The last 5, he's bottom 3 among all NFL QBs that qualify. That's really bad. And that quarterback play is not going to beat Washington. It's not going to do anything in the postseason. Michael Penix, bit of the mystery box. First-round pick, highly touted. Falcons are big fans of him. Obviously, that's not a surprise at all because he spent a first-round pick on him. But once you make that move, it's over. You can't go back. And it might tank the QB stock in the offseason a little bit too. So pick a QB. Who would you start if you were the Falcons? KC for Kirk Cousins, MP for Michael Penix. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Let's talk Raiders here. Josina Anderson reporting the Raiders are considering making some major changes here. Got the looming presence of Tom Brady. Here is the gist of that report. Antonio Pierce very much on the hot seat because you should never hire the interim. Very, 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 very rarely ends up working out. And behind the scenes, GM Tom Telesco is in job-saving mode and is separating himself from Antonio Pearson. That's not my guy. I didn't want him. Let me pick my own guy. Also of note, the overshadowing presence of Tom Brady continues to loom large here. I think it's also super funny that if they hadn't hired Josh McDaniels the first time, everyone would be linking Josh McDaniels for this job because of Tom Brady. We know that, right? Brady is, it sounds like the Raiders and Mark Davis are going to like heavily lean on Tom Brady to pick the next QB. And they'll probably send him for the next head coach, which I think is a massive conflict of interest as a broadcaster, but we've already had the shark jump that one already. Let's watch the Raiders, because there's a real chance they are once again in a search for a new head coach this offseason, which is a lot of money to be paying to guys to not coach for you. Now, when it comes to NFL or college football or NBA news, we have you covered here. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Finally, Patrick Mahomes' injury. High ankle sprain, a mild high ankle sprain. Chiefs going to list him as week to week, but in what was a light practice today, he was a full participant. And I've tweeted this out before. Mahomes has the Steph Curry ankles, where he's kind of like always rolling them, and they've become so like worn and like scar tissue-ish to an extent. Like they're almost like Gumby. Like they were really bad early, and now they're fine. Like they've become like rubber, and he doesn't have the same severe injuries he used to. I would not be surprised if he plays. They got the Texans on Saturday, tight turnaround against the Steelers on Christmas. Contrary to what happened for years, so this is not a new thing. This has happened frequently in the NFL. Whatever. Then at Denver, Chiefs want that number 1 seed. They want that bye. They got to start winning games against Houston and Pittsburgh to lock that up. Mahomes is frankly, look, if I just showed you the blind resume of 66.7%, 3,000 plus yards, a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, no, it's not that good. Did Daniel Jones have a career year? Is kind of what you'd be saying. It's very slanderous, by the way, so I apologize. But they keep winning games. They just keep finding ways to do it. If Mahomes can't go, it's Carson Wentz time for KC, which I think is objectively funny, but that's kind of where you're at this point in the season. So we'll see what happens for Carson Wentz and for the Chiefs and Mahomes, but I would not be surprised if he played.